You are now listening to the Hot Take Hot Box. You are now listening to the Hot Take Hot Box. You are now listening to the Hot Take Hot Box.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is the Hot Take Hot Box. My name is Matt McSweeney. I am joined by two very special guests. My fellow co-host, Ty Capone, and the JPAV is out there live from the alley right now.
Yeah, you'll hear those pins smacking around
ready
a little
to
bit.
go. It is a Sixer. I mean, this is a kind of a Sixers time of year. That they've reeled me back in. It seems like they find a way to reel me back in right before the playoffs, right around the playoffs every single time. It's been, we're almost at a decade. I mean, not at a decade, but we're getting close to a decade where the Sixers have been perennial playoff just members, always in the mix. And it just year after year, we can't get by the second round. Maybe this year will be the year. But, boys, overall, let's just get right into it. We had a Miami Heat Sixers play-in game. I was live on YouTube for that game.
I wish I was tuned in to see your reaction to us not being able to break the zone.
It was just me firing off fake gunshot rounds into the air every time Nick Batum made a three, basically. But how are we feeling? How did we feel about watching that game? The first half was rough. It was a slow start. Embiid looked bad, and then they needed some sort of hero, somebody to kind of pull them out of the fire, and his name was Nico Batum.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy that he's like the unsung hero. Also, Buddy Hield, big trade acquisition. Not really. I haven't really seen him show up in the last couple months, but yeah, we need somebody, right? He's not always going to be that third guy. Tobias Harris is completely lost out there. Kyle Lowry has been okay, honestly. He might be playing better than Buddy Hield, which is funny. So
Jesus. We
need somebody. For sure, especially if Maxey does have a rough shooting night, and that's going to happen in the playoffs against these good defensive teams, especially like the Knicks. If you put Josh Hart or Dante DiVincenzo on Maxey, it's going to be a tough series against them. But I'll say, the third, fourth quarter, Embiid I think had 11 points in the fourth, so he really stepped it up, got to the line a bunch, and did his thing. So yeah, it was mostly ugly. It was mostly like Jimmy Buckets leaves the game with a fucked up ACL. So there you go. Rest in peace to Jimmy Buckets.
Thank God.
Jesus Christ.
Tyler Hero was struggling all game. And Bam Adebayo with a nice big 10 points. I heard he was on the level of Joel Embiid, but I'm not sure about that one.
Yeah, I watched the first half. I was actually bowling league when it was going down. I actually had to sequester myself while we were bowling. Like people were just speaking so much nonsense.
Yeah,
but that is a game that we usually see Joel. Like if it goes like that in the first half, he usually just folds them in and just says, "Let's go on to the next one." It was really good to see him just actually take over the fourth, even though we wouldn't have won the game without Nico. But yeah, it just felt good to see him take over kind of a fourth quarter in the playoffs like that in a game we need. Not that we, obviously we didn't need to win, but I mean, come on, man.
No, you're right, because it just felt good. It felt good to see. It was trending in a bad direction, even without say you got all that from Nico, you still needed Embiid to kind of just push them over the finish line at the end. They needed those huge buckets, that M1 that he had with the left hand. Little finish at the end, the pass to Oubre. He made some great plays, and he wasn't good. He just wasn't good for a good 25 minutes, 26, 27 minutes of that game. And then, once our boy Caleb Martin missed the free throw for the chicken, that was the turning point, man. We really woke up after we got them free nuggets.
For sure. Honestly, when he hit that three, I think it might have tied the game or gave him a lead. I told myself, I'm like, all right, now I think we're okay once we got the lead. That's how I felt the whole time. Once we went up by one at some point going down the stretch, I'm like, all right, we're going to find a way to win this game now.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted to see was give us a chance toward the end.
So
also shout out to Lisa Batum. I'm not sure if that's his wife, sister, mom, but she was giving it to people on social media. She does not give a fuck. She loves her gifts. It might be his wife or mom. She's heavy on the GIF game. That's how you know, or GIF game. That's how you know she's a little bit older. But she was giving it to all the fans that said he ain't shit. I was reading that on Twitter. I thought it was
that's
funny.
crazy. I didn't see that, but I mean, he ain't shit other than the last game though. So I'm not even going to say anything.
Respect Batum.
Yeah, I do. I mean, he keeps on dropping 20 in the playoffs. We're probably not going to lose. So.
And honestly, it was the defense, the block on Hero at the end of that game was huge. So they got some.
Hero's more than most guys.
That's the thing. If Maxey and Embiid aren't going to play good, and it's not going to be like that every game. There's sometimes you just don't have bad games. It was a bad time for them to have bad games, but the way Spoelstra and the Heat were running their defense, it was basically a zone to kind of shut Embiid down and not let Maxey get to the hoop. So
we knew Spo was going to come up with something to just make it impossible on us.
Yeah,
I mean, in a one game, win or go home, basically, he was going to find a way to make us struggle.
Yeah,
that was never going to be easy.
No, of course, and they figured the most important thing is that they figured out a way. Last year, with Glenn Rivers at the helm, on that sideline, I think we're having a little bit of a different conversation here today, boys.
We'd be hoping. I'd honestly be hoping we didn't play Boston in the first round. I would hope we lost the second playing game and just ended it right there.
Yeah, kind of just got out of there and got it over with. And honestly, we probably would. I don't want to. I mean, I think the Bulls are going to win that game tonight, and I don't really want to be a team that has to play those Bulls. They looked. I mean, I guess they played the Hawks, so it's all Hawks relative.
They're just atrocious, I guess. I mean,
but boys, let's switch gears here. Move on towards the next round. Sixers Knicks. The Knicks actually are the underdogs as the 2 seed here in this series, which is a pretty wild circumstance to kind of. I would be so disrespected if I were a Knicks fan, but I understand it.
Yeah, I mean the Sixers really are the 2 seed in the situation, though. I mean, if you really want to get into it, they're the 2 seed playing the 3 seed in the first round is what it happened to be.
Yeah, it's basically I mean the Knicks. If I were a team in there, I hate doing this or hate talking about this, but they should have tried to. Every team should have tried to avoid that 2 seed at all costs when they found out that the Sixers
Cavs did.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
They definitely
did. Bucks.
I mean, other than Boston, no other team in the conference wanted to see us in the first round. I don't think Boston really cared at that point, but
no.
I mean, honestly, the Knicks are good, but I mean, are they ready? Are they ready to play a 7-game series versus Joel Embiid if he's 80%?
Yeah, I don't really think it matters because I don't think they have anyone that can really guard him one-on-one, so they're going to have to kind of implement some of those zones and some of the stuff that the Heat were doing in that in that play-in game. The only problem is the Knicks really did have a lot of success against the Sixers this year, but I think 3 of the 4 games were without Embiid on the floor. So it's going to...
They have nobody.
Yeah.
I mean, Isaiah Hartenstein, who, by the way, have you ever heard him talk?
Yeah.
I wasn't sure he was African-American, but he is, apparently. Just a big German fellow with a deep-ass voice who...
I don't know where we were going there.
I was just when he first started talking, I was completely confused about why he sounded like that. It was wild. But if that's all they have, him and Mitchell Robinson, if that's all they have to guard Embiid, I mean, we're going to go through a similar thing with, guarding Jalen Brunson for sure.
Yeah.
They just have more weapons, I think. I don't know, man. I don't really trust in Batum to show up every night. Also, how about Thibodeau? Fucking Tibbs playing Dante DiVincenzo 53 minutes in the last regular season game.
For what?
For what? So we can get this overtime. I guess it was for the 2 seed, right? I guess they really wanted to get it.
Yeah, and
crazy,
for what? I guess for a second round.
It should have been the other way, bro. Buddy should have played 12 minutes. I mean,
less, yeah. So I mean, Anunoby, Brunson, Hart, DiVincenzo, even Miles McBride, as of late, off the bench has been playing well. So they do have more scoring options. I think they kind of worry me a little if we're going to get to a shootout. But then it really just depends on Embiid's knee. If he's going to go down like he just blew out his ACL again. If he's any kind of hindrance to his knee, which obviously is not 100%, but still, he battles through it like a beast. That's just going to be the big matchup. Honestly, I am looking more towards the guard matchup and how well we do or don't do in that. That way.
My opinion was I think we know what we're going to get from Embiid at his current state, whether he's 70%, 80%, and if he gets hurt, he's even worse. I think Maxey has to find a way to take a little pressure off and really just be be the all-star he's supposed to going to be and is now. He can't just go small in year 4 in the playoffs.
Somebody else should step up. It would be nice to see Buddy make a couple shots, or even Batum, or just somebody the fuck else. Like Tobias Harris. It'd be nice if he had like a nice little playoff run to end his Sixers tenure, considering he never did shit while he was here.
I think he's the most disrespected player in Philly in the really long.
Well, he probably should be.
Since Ben, for sure.
Fair enough.
Rightfully so, though. That guy stinks. Did you see some of the? I forgot. J-Pav's in the Toby Hive. He's like the king, the queen bee of the Toby Hive. But
he's just got a bad draw. I mean, for all these years, he's had to deal with Doc, and he's had to deal. Dude, come on, dude.
Listen,
he's got Nick Nurse, and I don't know what the issue is here.
The guy is absolutely clanking threes. Not even hitting the rim on some of them. But he's not even the problem. He'll do his thing. He honestly looks like he has. He looks like the movie Old for the M. Night Shyamalan movie. Like he's leaving the beach and he's he's aging at a rapid pace. He really
that movie, by the way.
People expect Toby to drop 20 and 15 every night, and that's just not the buddy, dude.
I would like 17 and 7 on a decent efficiency. But also that movie, by the way, were one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
Yeah, it was bad.
I'm so sorry. It was so bad. When the girl was in the cave and her body started just like twitching and shrinking, and she looked like a creature. I was like, bro, what are we doing? And then the end, they just like, hey, this happened. And then they just walk away.
Yep.
I was like, okay, that's how it ends. So shout out to M. Night, always repping the Sixers, but can't make a movie to save his life.
We're gonna have to get so we're gonna have to slow Brunson down though this series. But I mean, obviously easier said than done. I don't know how they're really gonna do that. He had 29, 20, I think 21 in the first two games, and then the one game where it's crazy that they had a game where the final score was 79-73. That was something. That was wild.
That game, dude. That was awful.
Yeah, but I mean, like we said though, I don't think it's a real accurate depiction of what could happen because Embiid didn't play in a lot of these games. He was not, he did not suit up for I think the final 3 games of this setup, and I'm pretty sure in the one game he did play, he got hurt like early on in the game. And like played the rest of the game, still had 30 and 10, but he just after that, I'm pretty sure he was either banged up or he got like the knee injury happened like pretty soon thereafter, or he rolled his ankle. There was some nonsense that happened, but
always
your boy Toby had 5 points that game. By the way, just to point that out.
So do you think that like the playoffs come around? I don't see Brunson just averaging 40 a game in the playoffs either. So.
No, but definitely 30.
Playoff defense versus 82-game defense is very, very different. Where they haven't really seen it.
And it's going to be a slower sort of game, especially from them. They're going to try and slow it down to a snail's pace and try to beat us in the half court.
Man, I think they're going to try to.
They should probably try to run it.
Joel up and down the court. That's what I think they should.
They should, but they don't play that way. They just they don't play that way. They are a slow, methodical, beat you down half court, lock down in half court defense. Like that's just the way they play. That's the Thibodeau Knicks sort of just identity. And I think I really think it's a perfect matchup for the Sixers because if you're going to try and beat Embiid in the half court, if you're not going to play zone, if you're going to try and play one-on-one on him, then I think you're cooked. And I think it's not the old book would have been to just double Embiid and get the ball out of his hands and he'll turn the ball over. I don't think he's that same player anymore. He's not an automatic turnover like he used to be. He's still going to turn the ball over, but
we did see in the Heat game they had 14 turnovers to the.
That was so bad.
So
yeah,
I wanted to actually jump through the TV screen that I was watching
running a zone, and we don't know what we're doing.
Yeah,
I couldn't.
I think Butler had 5 steals in the first half. I was like, I can't.
Matt, you know this, but imagine sitting next to Steve Tav when the first half of that game was going on.
Oh boy, yeah.
And this guy's a loser. He just kept saying, I literally walked away from where I was and went somewhere else.
That's why I can't watch the game with my dad anymore because he starts saying shit like that, and I'm like, all right.
Because like one of the old guys that works for us, dude, I literally I had to walk away from everybody, man.
Yeah.
I'd rather be in the stadium like booing that guy than sitting next to someone who's clueless or like actually like they know what they're talking about, and it's just brutal,
And it's like, go ahead. My bad. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say in the kitchen, wrist twisting like Big Matt, but
Jesus,
he's the man. I love it.
He's without a doubt the best human on earth.
Knicks have a lot of guards. It's kind of my big worry. They can space it out. They have a lot of chemistry. Obviously, the Villanova love triangle that they have going on over there disgusts me. But they can shoot, man. Even they can play. They're all versatile. I mean, Josh Hart isn't that terrifying, but he can make some spot up shots. He can, for some reason, the best rebounding guard to ever exist.
Yeah, good on
defensively.
Yeah,
I mean, you think going into the Garden's going to be a problem? I don't.
I'm not really worried about
the radio. I don't think it's going to be an issue.
The Garden can blow me. I'm not really worried about.
Those people are calling it the Mecca, bro. I'm like, all right, listen,
the Mecca.
It was a long time ago. That was a long time ago.
The Mecca hasn't seen something good in 35, 40 years. Man. Get it together.
The Mecca is old and needs to be woken up. I think the home and home. I don't know if that's going to matter necessarily. Home court advantage. I mean, they're 3.5, 4 point favorites at home. I think we'll probably be slight favorites at home. Probably neutral sites, very close. So I think
dude, if we go out there and get game one, I think we just shake.
Oh man, yeah.
Like, I'm not saying it's going to be like 6 or 5 or whatever, but I'm saying if we go in there and get game one, they're shook.
They're shook. Could be 6 or 5.
Or we could get blown out game one, and we're out here talking next day.
That'll suck. Me and Matt will be on here freaking out.
What we're going to do.
Yeah, we'll be podding on Monday going, hey, man, are we going to get swept? We'll be saying stuff like that.
Should we trade Joel? That's what it'll come down to.
Yeah, if it goes bad. Tony was already in my chat the other day saying during the stream, yo, trade Embiid. I'm like, oh, man, it's the first quarter.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Wait, so there's a report. I don't know if either of you saw that. Several NBA executives believe there's a chance Tobias Harris will sign with the Detroit Pistons in free agency.
Yeah, he should.
Per Pompey on Sixers. I don't know if Keith Pompey really knows what he's talking about.
So the best case scenario, obviously I've been a Toby guy forever, but I think he's just been misunderstood. That guy would go there and average 25 a game without a question.
Yeah, I'm sure.
No, he wouldn't.
Even Cade Cunningham and Jaden Ivey.
That guy's averaging. He's going to just put that rock up and average 25 a game.
Well, maybe, if he shoots 60 times a game. Yeah, it'll be
Jaden Ivey,
Cade Cunningham. Yeah, he'll be standing in the corner.
Beef Stew out there knocking people out backstage in the locker room.
Nobody on earth worried about Cade Cunningham.
I'm not. But he always has the ball in his hand.
Unless you're collecting sports cards, man, Cade Cunningham is a loser.
Unless you're from Stillwater, I guess nobody cares. But still. So, hopefully he goes. We can replace him with, whoever the fuck.
How about we give him like a little $15 million a year or something? Dude?
No. Yeah, we can give him that.
No. Listen. I saw that same report. The first thing I saw was Tobias Harris expected not to return for the Sixers next year. I was like, wow, man.
Shit, man.
Well, yeah, Sherlock Holmes really getting to putting his detective hat on.
We've been hoping that guy just didn't sign like his 5th-year option. Like, we were out here just begging this.
Yeah, let's get a little fucking real for a second. But if we had to break this down, give a quick prediction for what you think the series, what is the final result? Sixers and what? Knicks and what? What would you go? I'll go to JPav first to hear what you have to say, JPav.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think it's going to come. Game one is just massive. I think we win it at home in 6. That's what I've been kind of thinking about. But I mean, I can see it going 7. This series is going to. It's going to. People are thinking it was the easier series. I think it's going to be just a nicer series than Boston. But I say Sixers in 6. Joel drops 45 in Game 6.
Wow.
To the promised land.
Okay. What about you,
Promised
Ty?
land of round 2, by the way, because and that's all I need to get to. But
hey, it's something we can't get to. I'm going to say the Knicks in 6. Unfortunately,
wow.
I have to see it. It before I believe it. I don't think we can get out.
That's disgusting.
I know. I hate it.
Now at least I can disrespect you with all accounts.
That's fine. You and my dad. I was talking to my dad earlier on the phone, and he thought we were going to win. I was like, I don't know. I think we might lose. He's like, what's your problem? I thought you liked the Sixers.
You should go hang out with Howard wearing his Indiana Pacers jersey to WIP the other day.
Yeah, did you see that? Him and Spike arguing that? It's crazy what they did to us.
I listened to it on the radio. That shit was wild. Spike was. I don't like Spike more than anybody on earth. I mean, we know that during the process. We almost wanted to actually fight in person. But
you guys are tweeting each other.
Yeah. It was. I told him to come to my section. Like it was something crazy. Anyway, that's just the biggest sham on earth over there, man.
Yeah. No, and I will go with Sixers and 6 as well. I could see it even ending up in 5. I really just think it's going to come down to Embiid and how well he plays and what shape he's in and how good he looks. And I think as time goes on, the stronger he gets, the healthier he gets. I think he's only going to get better and get sharper. And I just think the Knicks are going to have a tough time slowing him down. I think it's a bad matchup when you have, like you said, Isaiah Hartenstein and Mitchell Robinson. If you're not going to be able to play man-to-man on them, and you're going to have to be leaking over some of these other guys, and you're going to be opening up the Batums and the Buddy Hields for open threes. And I imagine Buddy Hield's going to start hitting some open threes at some point during these playoffs. Let's hope. And honestly, I one thing I do want to mention too. I underestimated him, and I'm mad at myself for it. He's really added this. He's really stabilized the team and helped us out. BBL Kyle Lowry has really helped the squad out.
He had a great game. Wednesday night.
It's good to just take the ball out of Maxi's hands, so that he doesn't have to handle it on every possession, and kind of just run a quick offensive possession where Maxey can run off some picks and kind of get downhill, as opposed to having it just be Embiid and Maxey running it, from the point. So, yeah, I'm feeling good, boys. I know Ty.
So it's just this team all the time with Embiid not being 100%. I've seen this movie before.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about the Knicks. I'm just worried about the Sixers beating themselves, turnovers, cold 3-point shooting. I don't think the Knicks necessarily are better or that much better, but if they do win game one, I think that might be big. Honestly, I think it's, whoever wins game one wins the series, which might be stupid. But also, I'm looking at this picture earlier in the year when we did play the Knicks and Embiid was healthy. On the court with him, we have Daniel House, Marcus Morris, Pat Bev, and I believe that looks like KJ Martin. So,
guys who actually don't play the game. Okay.
Yeah. So things are very different.
KJ Martin sitting next to Matt while producing that thing.
Yeah. Shout out to the son of Kenyon. But yeah, I mean, now we have, even Ricky Council is better than these fucking guys. So, and BBL Kyle Lowry.
Yes.
So, yeah, I think things could be differently. Saturday, 6 p.m., correct? Game one?
Believe so. Yeah, 6 p.m.
All right. I'll be there no matter what.
Very excited. I cannot wait. JPAB, I know you have a hard out here in a second. I would like to ask you your thoughts.
Hard on.
He was bricked up. He texted me he was bricked up before.
I did say those exact words.
Yeah. I guess let's just, before we get into the Eagles, you're not a real Eagles guy. You are a Phillies guy, though. Just a quick segue. What are your thoughts so far on the Phils as they've broken out? It's gotten better. It's gotten better.
The best pitching staff in the MLB is what I'm getting.
Okay.
That's where I'm going to start.
All right.
I mean, without our pitching staff, how many games have we won?
Oh boy, we're probably 3-11. Yeah.
Right. Ranger Suarez has been awesome. 27 Ks, 4 walks.
Nola's been unreal. Wheeler had one bad game. I mean,
Sanchez has been on fire.
Spencer
the bullpen.
Turnbull.
Yeah.
Spencer Turnbull. I mean,
Turnbull's been awesome. Jeff Hoffman. I saw somebody tweet, man, Jeff Hoffman has been so bad for us ever since we got him, and I was like, really? Because it seems like he's been the most consistent.
The bullpen we played the Braves the first series. Literally, they were coming for all blood on any pitch that was thrown.
Yeah.
Take that series out of play. I'm sure our ERA is like 2.2 as a stat.
Well,
it's probably insane.
Hoffman's is like 2, and he had one bad game. Yeah. And last year it was in the 2s. And
we're now 19 games in, and we're probably going to go sweep the White Sox this evening.
Oh man, I would hope so.
So, I mean, we take these 6 games in a row, I think, honestly, and then we the bats are warming up a little bit.
Yeah.
Bryce was getting – so I've been saying this to a few people I talked to. Bryce was getting the largest pass for being absolutely buns for 15 games or 16 games.
Yeah.
That happens.
Yeah. Well, his stats were kind of elevated from the one game where he hit 3 home runs. Take that out, and it's kind of a rough. It was a rough start to the year. It's good to see Turner.
We were more worried about our 9-hole hitter than we were about Bryce Harper having 2 hits outside of one game in the first 16.
Well, they only have 2 guys with an OPS of 800 or above. It's Marsh and Turner. Marsh sometimes just doesn't play, and I'm like, you got to put that guy in every day.
That guy's got to play every day. I'm a big Rob guy. I like Rob. But that guy's got to play more, man.
Yeah.
Until he just goes like 0 for 12 against lefties, put that guy in the game, man.
I've been saying it for a while. Good.
I know Blastolanos gets a lot of shit, but the boy B-Sot.
I couldn't be as far. I couldn't be more out on Nick Castellanos than I had this early in the season.
And I love it because he's a loser.
Trash years from Nick Castellanos. We had half of the season from that guy.
Yeah.
I couldn't be more out on that guy.
And all the lame jokes when somebody dies and they're like, oh my God, I got to bet on Nick Castellanos and home runs. Like,
all of a sudden he's swinging the ball and we're in the backstop.
Yeah. The guy has 0 home runs this year. All the people that have died. Obviously, it's not going to work. Bryson Stott also, I think, has been pretty bad. I think he kind of just gets a pass because he doesn't strike out. Older fans like my dad hate Schwarber, but we'll give Bryson Stott a pass. Whit Merrifield, I think me and you called it, Matt, from the day one. Everyone's like, dude, this is a great move. Yeah. Just terrible. Yeah, the guy's cooked. So that signing didn't do anything.
We really did nothing. We did nothing productive.
No, they didn't. I do think they need to add a bat in the outfield or just in general. You just need a bat.
They need a bench match somewhere. Yeah. We got Reese. I mean, obviously,
call somebody up.
He got some money, but he's got to do something.
They need a center fielder who used to live in Millville and now resides in Anaheim.
Yeah, what are they?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That guy is raking, by the way. Do you want? Can we talk about that guy? Is raking,
dude.
For some reason, he wants to stay there. He loves Anaheim. It must be beautiful out there.
Some people just want to be losers their whole life. I get it. He won't get no respect until he does something to try to win a ball game.
Well, I did a whole pod on that guy's stats one year, and I did about 10, 20 minutes of just talking about Mike Trout and how it's crazy how good his career numbers are and how we all don't even know about it because he's just been playing in irrelevancy for his entire career. And the numbers he's been putting up. I mean, like you said, this year he's got 8 home runs and only 11 RBIs.
How much do you guys think Shohei won off of Mike Trout home run drops being under every year when that guy's hurt?
Yeah,
hey, free Ipe.
Ipe didn't do anything wrong, I don't think. He's just gambling.
Nothing wrong.
Stole a little bit of money. I mean, who doesn't steal a little bit of money from time to time now? But in all seriousness,
I was involved in the guy who made $1 million off basically Furcon Corkmouse, whoever.
Jonte Porter.
Paul was so this is obviously something totally off the record, off wild here. We played golf the other day. Paul was losing his mind that some book let somebody have an $80,000 parlay involved in Javante Booker. That guy.
Jonte Porter.
Yeah. So Paul was losing his mind that somebody let that happen, and then they're blaming the player for it.
Well, it's been a rough week for the Porter family. Coben Porter, the younger brother, got a DUI manslaughter, so he's going to be behind bars for a little bit.
Nah, you got to be joking.
No, I'm not. Jonte Porter banned for life. Michael Porter is apparently a vegan.
Michael Porter's going.
Never had a vaccine ever in his life. The one sister, Sierra Porter. So there's 8 of these motherfuckers. There's 8 of them. 4 guys, 4 girls. Sierra Porter, the oldest sister, tore her ACL 7 times in her career and obviously had to retire from playing. So that's just a fun fact about the Porter fam. There's also a girl named Jada. She's 6'6" in high school, putting up 30 and 20.
Well,
she's the youngest of the Porters.
Yeah, I mean, she'll join Caitlin Clark and make $12,000 a year playing basketball for I care, man. Let that be known.
Put her in the big 3, man. Put her in the Nuggets. Put a whole Porter family in the NBA. There's also there's one in college. There's one in high school. Javon. There's so many of them. But they seem like a cursed family. A bunch of ACL tears. A bunch of kicked out of the league and thrown in jail. So
Papa Porter likes leaving it in.
I can't believe Matt didn't my disrespect about of Clark. Personally,
Caitlin Clark, I'm not going into that
she'll show you.
She won't show me unless I see it on TikTok or something because I'm not tuning into a WNBA game.
Let me try and steer this thing back on under the rails real quick.
Yeah, dude, watch out for that iceberg that we just almost flipped.
Yeah, we almost just flipped this train off the tracks. I will say though, the one good thing before we get off the Phils and we let JPav go is that I have that Turner at least looks like he's not completely washed and. It's not going to be it's not going to be completely irrelevant for the first 3 months of the season. It looks like he at least has brought his A game somewhat early on here, and maybe we'll get a full season of good Trey Turner.
So before we go, do you think we can win the division?
Oh, jeez, I must have sneezed on my screen. Thank you. I don't know if you could hear that, but I think we can win the division. It's not a fact of it's not out of the question. I just don't. I like that they've played a little bit better, but the Phillies are just too inconsistent, and the Braves are built to be a just juggernaut regular season team.
Man.
Yeah,
the lineup is so insane. We have an insane lineup as well, but their lineup somehow is better. I just don't get it.
Yeah. Well, so what are we? 3 out.
Only 2 games back.
2 games back. So we definitely can. We're just, and I mean, honestly, a huge thing. Yeah, they lost Strider. Yeah, that's a huge thing.
They got Ronaldo Lopez, who's pitching out of his goddamn mind.
Every team that loses a big star like that could help us eventually find some random dude to just come through and just. I'll throw 200 innings somehow. I mean, okay.
Chris Sale's throwing 97 again. You're like, dude, what the fuck? I thought this guy died 10 years ago. So I mean, I don't trust in the Braves long term at all. I think they definitely. They should go out. They should have went out and got Corbin Burns like the Orioles did. Mm-hmm. They should go out at this deadline. I don't know who's going to be available. Surely somebody on the A's.
I think. It's just going to be really. I think it's going to be closer than it has been in the division for the past 10 years.
I agree.
Watch out for those Mets, man. I don't think the Mets are really that good, but they have some bats, and they're really cold. Some of their bats. So Lindor has been a complete negative of a player, and if he turns it up, they're gonna be dangerous-ish. I think they can compete for a wild card. They do a lot of pissing on themselves.
What happened to Miami then?
Well,
Miami's got all these injuries.
Cursed. They're cursed.
Yeah.
I mean, they have the young talent, and then what happened with that kid Yuri Perez? He had to get his arm. He had to get Tommy John.
Yep.
Then they have Max Meyer pitching his ass off. They sent him down to AAA. Yep. They're just a bunch of fucking idiots. Jazz Chisholm, overrated bum.
Super overrated bum for sure.
Yes.
They wanted to put that guy on a pedestal. Dude.
Yeah, he was on the cover of MLB. I'm like, he ain't gonna make it. Luis Ariz, he was hitting like 380. Now he's hitting 270, and he has no power, so he's useless.
Yeah.
Well, he's never really had power, but that's all.
Right. So if he's not hitting 400, what's the point? Pretty much all their players have like a negative WAR at this current moment. So things are not going well down South Beach. But what do
they have a beautiful stadium down there, that's for sure.
4-15. Good lord.
Yeah.
So there you go, ladies and gentlemen.
I can't wait to go back down there and be able to get into the stadium for $6.
Oh yeah,
the players.
You can definitely get into that Amazon warehouse for cheap, dude. Yeah, they literally might let you sit in the dugout for $20.
Head to the bullpen. They might think you're Will Bednar. I don't know.
On the third baseline when I was down there last time, and they were like in the contention for the playoffs. It was a year last year for like $21 a ticket. Me and my mom went. I was like, all right, let's go.
Yeah, go Dodgers, dude. That's all I gotta say.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, they got another postseason.
They're also struggling
for them. Yeah, they're not that good. Plain and simple.
Yeah.
Well, JPav, I appreciate you joining us, brother. You go do your thing, man. This guy's got to go back to work. But
yeah. All right.
Appreciate you, brother.
All right, man.
See you, brother.
Take care. So, me and you, Ty, will move on. We will talk about the Philadelphia Eagles. Not much really to talk about other than Devonta Smith. Devonta Smith does have a new contract extended. I think it was 4 years, $80-some million, I think, is what the numbers that I heard. But it's basically just going to be something similar to the A.J. Brown contract. A.J. Brown, now that I say A.J. Brown, I'm forgetting that A.J. Brown also is changing his Twitter AV and to Tom Brady and following Jacoby Brissett and all sorts of guys from the Patriots, and then being like, I didn't think this was going to be that big of a deal. I don't know why everyone's freaking out. What's going on? It's just the typical Eagles stuff. But other than that, I mean, obviously you're happy that we locked up the Smitty for an extended period of time. Yeah,
I mean, this is somebody said this is what the Eagles do. They locked up Jalen Hurts before they kind of got ahead of the curve. Like everyone's like, oh, dude, Devonta Smith, $25 million a year. You're giving him wide receiver one money, and then in a couple, he's going to make probably a little bit less, maybe I don't want to say significantly less, but a couple million less a year than T. Higgins. And I don't think he's that. They're very similar, in my opinion. I think they're different types of receiver, but they're very, very similar. I think T. Higgins gets a lot of hate just because he's always hurt, but he's a stud. But he's going to get 20, 30 a year. He's probably going to get more than 3 years, So how much do you think Olave? Garrett Wilson, we were talking about him last week. He's going to get a lot of money. So by the time Devontae's contract's up, man, it's going to look like a relative steal. And I do think we do need a third receiver. I do want either a third receiver or like a second tight end, just another weapon.
Yeah.
Or maybe another pass catching back. Somebody in the draft I want in like the mid rounds for them to take. I like this kid a lot. Maybe if I remember his name, I think it's Troy Fulroy from East Missouri State. I don't know. I'm all fucked up. I was just looking at a mock that Dane Brugler did, and it was awesome for the Eagles. And I think he was in there. Is it Troy Fulroy or Nick Fulroy? I'm just all fucked up. Oh, I'm sorry. It was Ryan Flournoy. They had taken him in the like very end, and I think he had us taking Amarius Mims in the first round of 22. I don't know how I feel about that, but I get it. I get taking the offensive tackle, especially one that's kind of a project. He's like 6'7", 320. So you assume he's the next left tackle if you do take him at 22. Again, I wouldn't be opposed, but I kind of be a little disappointed just because I want somebody that you're ready to plug and play right now. But I guess mid to late first round, you're not always going to get somebody who's ready to play right away. So I guess I wouldn't be mad at it. 3 years, $75 million, like you said, extension. I think it works out for both. I think you kind of made mention of, but the big reason they need as many weapons as they can possibly get.
you need to load up this offense for Jalen Hurts and try to make his life as easy as possible. Not to say he's bad or anything, but he's I don't know how to say this without upsetting some people or hurting some feelings. This guy's limited as a overall passer, and it seems like you don't want him to be the one trying to throw at guys like Cole Beasley, not to pick on just a random little white guy, but that's kind of what I just did in my head. They need another weapon. I agree, and I honestly would prefer a slot receiver because it seems like there's always a guy who finds his way in there that just shouldn't be on the field. Maybe a Quez Watkins, maybe a Julio Jones, something like that, or a Olamide Zaccheaus, where we're like, can we find anybody better than that? Like, we're sitting here on the pod, like, is Jarvis Landry that cooked? I don't want to be having those conversations every year. I want to have somebody better.
Can AB come back?
Yeah, like why are we? Then we have Devontae Parker. Like, that's another thing where I'm like, I hope they don't try and like stroll him out there. But I don't know whether they get that guy in the draft or I don't know who the tight end they would pick or who would fall to them at some point would be. But Ty, I think we should move on and do our usual mock draft. Our NFL.
Let's mock it up, dude.
NFL.com mock draft. I have to see who made this. Chad Reuter. Do we know who Chad Reuter is? I don't know who that is.
I believe he's
NFL.com.
Yeah,
he's a draft analyst. Why not? We haven't done any of his mock drafts yet, but he does 7 rounds. I won't be going through 7 rounds. It's insane. But what a job these guys have. Caleb. Then we got Jay. It looks like the steam is rolling for Jaden Daniels to go number 2 to the Commanders, but they don't want. Nobody wants to play for the Commanders. I don't blame them. Drake May going 3 to New England, and then you got a projected trade with the Cardinals from the Giants. Giants trade up to get J.J. McCarthy. The Daniel Jones era could be coming to a close. It looks like. How about Marvin Harrison Jr. going to the Chargers? That would make sense. And then this guy's got a trade. Projected. Oh yeah, so it would be the Cardinals moving down to get Rome Odunze. So I don't know. I guess Malik Neighbors just fell asleep here. I don't know what. Does this guy not have him anywhere on here?
Maybe he's
got him going 13 here on this.
That's not happening. If he's there 13, please trade up.
Yeah, that's pretty. It seems pretty disrespectful. But Joe Alt, the typical suspects. I'm going to scroll down to where the Eagles. Oh no, they have the Eagles trading up here on this. Oh wow.
Oh man,
you're going to have to. You read a mock after this. I'll just finish this one because I don't like when we trade up.
Back up just in case this one's cooked.
Yeah. We trade up to 16, Ty, with the Seattle Seahawks, and we get Jared Verse, which we've kind of talked about that. I kind of like that move.
He's really good. He's very productive. He's not the most athletic. He's not the biggest. I wanted him badly. I think he's from Albany College. I wanted him badly to come to LSU. He ended up going to FSU, and he was just every game he was just disruptive. He would help win them games at the end of the year when Jordan Travis got hurt. They were winning games 10-6, 13-6 at the very end of the year. It was pretty much Jared Verse and company leading the charge and winning those games. So he would be a good add. I feel like our boy Latte is going to go right before us, and that hurts me. That hurts the soul.
Yeah.
I don't know about trading up I don't know about trading up in general, but I've seen a couple people theorize that we may do that, and they think that there's a chance we do, especially if there's like a tackle that's kind of falling a little. If somebody falls a little bit, they think we might trade up in the teens. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah.
But we do have a couple picks next year, I think so, and a couple picks in the future in general. So I get it. I guess. There's just a big gap, a big wait from pick 53 in the second to 120 in the fourth. So that alone, I already don't love, but they have a couple fifth rounders, so maybe they move up. I don't know. I like staying at 22, even though there's a couple guys I do love that probably won't be there, like Terrion Arnold. So it depends. I can't say I would be mad at a trade up. I'm kind of all in for whatever they do. Yeah, I don't think it's necessary either. But like I said, I think I'm kind of like all in for whatever they do. Now, if they come out here and pick some slapdick or like a linebacker, which they'll never do, but I don't think they could fuck this up, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Do you have a mock draft fired up? Well, while you do that, I will read some of the names that are going to be picked at 22 and after. Graham Barton is the name that they have for the Seahawks here. Latte at 23. Junior Colson at 24. And then we got Kool-Aid McKinstry, Chop Robinson, Cooper DeJean. Like some of these guys that are down here, I would.
Yeah. All right. So I got a mock CBS.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, he's the OU guy.
Yeah.
That Elaine Johnson loves. So we'll see if that works. Tom Fornelli, CBS Sports. I thought he was a basketball guy. He's got Caleb 1, Jaden 2, Drake May 3, Marv 4, just kind of standard. The Vikings straighten up to 5 to get J.J. McCarthy. I feel like that's going to happen. I feel like it's going to be, or maybe somebody trades up to 4. But I feel like that's not even really necessary because they're going to probably go Marv before the Cardinals. Malik Neighbors 6 of the Giants, Joe Alt 7, Turner, Adunze, Brock Bowers. Seems like the top 10, maybe even, probably the top 10 is kind of set-ish, After that, 11, you have the Chargers trading back in a tackle. I love that for them. Washington gets a lineman. Terrion Arnold goes 13th. Quinyon Mitchell 15th, verse 16. Nate Wiggins 17. That's a little surprising. Latte 19. And then they got us taking Cooper DeJean, which I would not be against. Corner, safety. He's very versatile. He's very good. Probably be our punt returner. So that's cool. Brian Thomas right after us. We won't do it. I would love to take Brian Thomas just because he's an LSU boy, but obviously it would probably be a dumb pick. Wasting a first-round pick on a wide receiver 3, which I get, but still, I would love it. Chiefs get A.D. Mitchell. That'd be a great pick at the very end of the round. And Bo Nix sneaking in the first, which I don't, I can't believe. But I guess I get it. This draft is really, 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 really bad on quarterbacks. So I would be fine with Cooper. I did a mock on PFF. They have the little mock simulator. I don't know how accurate it is. I don't think Chris Braswell is going to be there at 50, but I had Cooper DeJean at 22, Braswell at 50, Javon Bullard at 53, safety for Georgia. Braswell is the edge rusher from Bama. That would be an absolute home run. Those first 3 picks are going to be huge because then we have, like I said, a big weight and 3 top 53 picks. I like it. I think we can get 100% 2 or 3 starters. Maybe even all on defense. They could go all defense, corner, edge, safety. We'll see. We'll see what they do. I'm kind of not sure what they're going to do because they always throw us curveballs,
Sorry, I was trying to unplug this thing. But, yeah, no, I think it's kind of – these guys who do these mock drafts, it's, impossible to actually get an accurate pin down of what can happen, especially if some of these guys who don't have, insider info and they're kind of just going off of – what they think, which I don't blame. We all guess and try to do stuff like that, but at least, Ty, next week we get a final answer to it. Thursday night, the first round of the NFL draft. So we will have a direction. We will know where the Eagles are going to go, and we will be able to move on. We'll be able to move on to other things. We'll probably be in the middle of a playoff battle with the Knicks where we're down 0-2 and we're thinking maybe if it gets back to Philly we'll be able to figure this out.
Do we trade Embiid or not? What are we doing?
How about why don't we go Flyers before we get out of here, Ty? We got Flyers just to close their season out. What a colossal meltdown that was. Unfortunately, the expectations changed as the season went along. It went from we're just happy to be here to, wow, we're in a playoff spot to, wow, we have a 75% chance of making the playoffs to now we've lost 8 in a row to now we can't. Our goalie couldn't stop a beach ball to all this different shit that happened throughout the season. Our coach has lost the locker room. We need a new coach and benching the captain and all sorts of stuff happened here on the way down the stretch. And eventually it ended in the Flyers just missing the playoffs, and I saw people saying, "Oh, they're unlucky. They're not getting any help from the Canadians, we lost 9-3 to." The Flyers didn't deserve any.
Crazy.
The Flyers didn't deserve any help down the stretch. They blew this themselves, and I don't know who you want to blame. The coach.
Man.
Yeah, exactly. The Blackhawks, the Columbus Blue Jays, or the Blue Jackets. I almost called them Blue Jays.
The Blue Jays.
Yeah, it's close enough. It's just they there's no one to blame but themselves, and you really I'm not going to sit here and get all upset about it. It's to my eye is towards the future. I don't know who the goalie's going to be. I don't know what they're going to be able to do. I don't know if Jamie Drysdale's really the answer. I don't know. I feel good. They're obviously a little bit more ahead of schedule than we may have thought before the season, but I think this is going to come down to just a bit what they do this offseason. How do they grow? How do they get the power play better? How do they just get better overall? And what kind of who's going to be here next year? Is the Travis Konechny's of the world? Is Joel Farabee, who didn't really play? I don't think he played all that well. Going to be here next year? I guess we're going to see.
Yeah, there's a lot of young kids that you can't keep them all, right? You can't extend them all. And there's going to be some players that probably – Farabee's locked up for a while, right? So that if he kind of regresses or doesn't progress to the level that they expected, that's going to suck. He's only getting $5 a year, but in the hockey, all that matters.
With it all matters.
Canadian dollar and the salary cap hardly ever moving. It's going to be interesting. Damn, I didn't realize they still had Ryan Johansson for 2 more years at $8 million.
Yeah.
So that's that's unfortunate. They don't have that many guys hitting free agency. Eric Johnson, it looks like they can get rid of that old guy. Mark Stahl, see ya. Zamula, see ya. Carter Hart. Well, you already know what's going on there. I'm just looking at some of their contracts now. It doesn't look like they're on the hook for too much. Ristolainen and Ryan Ellis until 2027. That's something. Yeah, it looks like Owen Tippett, they locked him up, but he's still relatively cheap this year. Garnett Hathaway making almost $3 million. Cam Atkinson. I don't know, man. It looks like I don't know. It's going to be an interesting offseason for them, I'll say.
Yeah.
There's definitely a lot of pieces they need to add, but I don't know how much room they really have. They could definitely use some wingers. It doesn't look like they're really deep on the wing at all, especially on the left wing. But also, it looks like they need some centers and some defense.
Yeah, they
and
need
another
everything.
goalie.
They're still, they're still far away. It's just that they this year was kind of a wow. They're a little bit better than we thought they were going to be, and obviously, they were 1 game away from being in the playoffs. So they're not that far off. Some of those names may be you're like, wow, that guy's not that good. This guy makes this much money. I agree. We all thought that probably going into the season, but Tortorella got a lot out of these guys and got these guys right on the doorstep of making a playoff run. And maybe if one thing goes their way or this goes their way, or maybe they make an addition of some sort, maybe they're able to get off that Ristolainen contract and do something else with it. That would be clutch. I think it's going to just basically come down to how much better are some of these young guys going to get. Cam York was really good this year. I think he got much better. I think you're going to have to get better play from Jamie Drysdale. It's that simple. Can you get the play that you got from Travis Sanheim this year? They were thinking about trading him before this year. It's that all of that. Tyson Forster, some of those young guys, Bobby Brink. How much better are some of these guys going to get, or are you going to get some of those prospects to come up and maybe help you as well? And that's really where the help's going to come from. I don't think it's going to be a big signing yet. I don't think they're there yet. It's going to have to be these young guys taking another step and maybe more new young guys coming into the fold and pushing them to that next level.
Yeah, they got that kid from Denver, Massimino Rizzo.
Yeah.
The Irish fella, very Irish name. They got the kid Emil Andre, the defenseman. Both look like they could come up relatively soon. Elliot Desnoyers. However you pronounce that. He's another guy. He's, I think, 22. The kid Kolosov, the goalie, he's only 22.
Yeah.
So maybe he's knocking on the door. And then he's probably the real deal Holyfield. At least I would just blindly guess. And then you have Mitchkov, who's 19, and Oliver Bonk, who's 18. You got some time, man. I know time is never really on your side when you're a hockey team, but because you have to kind of pay your players kind of early, and also you don't really have much wiggle room. But it looks like they do have. I like their system. I think they probably have a top 10-ish farm system, maybe even higher. Denver Barkley, he's another kid, the London Knights. Yeah. He's really good. He's just, I think, weighs as much as me. Other than that, they have some really nice prospects. They have the other goalie too. I don't know his name.
Which one?
The one they just drafted, Bjarnason.
Oh, yeah.
He's really good. I drafted him in my NHL franchise mode, and he became like a stud. So if that means anything, there you go. But either way, they have young talent in the NHL. They have some young talent in the AHL and in juniors. So as long as they have another good draft this year, which I believe is a pretty deep draft, it looks like it. A bunch of, it looks like the entire first round to be filled with pretty good players. Not like I think last year was pretty weak. So just keep developing, keep building on what they're doing. I like what they're doing. I granted, it would be better if they had CUTTER in their farm system, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They have enough guys, and it really is just depending on like which guys from this, which young kids from the NHL team do you keep, or do you try to look to move some of them if you can get something good back? Maybe like a high draft pick from a team that's not that very good, not very good, that wants to take a chance on them, or Tippett, or anybody. If they want to give you a high pick for one of these young forwards, maybe they can do that, and maybe you can somehow try to attach something to Ristolainen or Ellis. I doubt Ellis because I feel like he's not even alive.
No, he'll be worth nothing.
Maybe you can get rid of some big contracts. Either way, I do kind of like the direction they're going in. So we'll see. We'll see what they do this offseason.
Yeah, and they're going to have a lottery draft pick. So we'll see what happens. It's probably going to be in the 10 to 14, 13 range, but still, maybe you can make some moves with that. And Mitchkov will be over at some point. There's, like you said, there's lights at the end of the tunnel. We're just going to have to eventually get there and see, and like you said, I'm looking at some of these goalie prospects now. I'm like, God damn, I didn't realize some of these guys. I'm a big Kolosov guy, so I'm just waiting for my cyborg, Belarusian, goalie to get here. Big fan of his. But, Ty, I think that's it. I think that's kind of all we really have to talk about, right, in the sports world. I'm a big Indiana Fever fan now. Caitlin Clark going to the Indiana Fever.
How about whoever they're playing game one, the Wizards, the Washington team,
the Mystics.
The Mystics. They're moving they're already moving the opener to a bigger arena. So for the people that say Caitlin Clark's, doesn't really move the needle. It looks like she moves the needle. I mean, they might have to move to an NBA arena to fit all the people that want to see her debut. I'm actually really excited about that. I mean, she seems cool. A lot of people hate her. I'm not really sure why.
I think a lot of people hate whenever something gets like a lot of hype behind it.
Yeah, they're like, fuck this. I don't want to partake in this. I'm going to hate on it. Yeah, I have a good friend who does that also. I'm like, all right, bro, you're not going to play the new Call of Duty or listen to the new Future album because everybody else is. Like, all right, bro.
It's like even with sports, like for example, which this man deserves more hate than honestly, like a Caitlin Clark, but like a McGregor. People just start hating on McGregor. Non-MMA fans, I should say, hate on him. They're like, oh, I don't get the big deal. What you're like, okay, dude, like whatever. Like you said, like Drake or somebody like that who it's like, yeah, like he stinks. It's like, well, no, you just don't like him. He doesn't stink, it's that there's a complete difference. But I think what cracks me up though is the UConn women who come out and are just shitting on her for being successful, and I guess they're just mad because nobody really cared about their teams blowing people out every game and winning 40, 50 straight games. I see like Sue Bird and Taurasi. They're like, she's not that good. Paige is better. It's like, I mean, Paige is good, but Caitlin Clark has elevated that whole sport of women's basketball to a new level. I don't see the reason in hating it. She's gonna make you all more money. And to bring that back, it's kind of like when McGregor was coming up in MMA. He started getting all them guys to make more money. All those guys at the upper level, they all started making more money because that guy brought in a whole new level of cash into it. And just because Dana's clutching a lot of those coins to his chest doesn't mean that's he still elevated the sport, and that's what I think what Caitlin Clark's doing.
For sure. Yeah, her and that whole class, that top 5 recruiting class, draft class, Cam Brink, my baby girl, Angel Reese. Paige Becker's not yet, and who's the other one? Was it Cardoso? I think
Cardoso, yeah, she's sick.
She's a unit. She's also very pretty. So,
Aaliyah Edwards. That's another one.
Aaliyah Edwards is a monster. Not that it matters, but it kind of does just for marketability. Being good looking, unfortunately, does go a long way. Same thing in women's UFC.
Same thing with men's too. Honestly,
just being good looking in life will help. Yeah. That's no surprise to anybody. That's why I haven't got far in that. So, and I think Caitlin Clark is
why this podcast is audio specific for both of us.
You don't want to see this fucking disgusting face. I haven't shaved in weeks. I'm disgusting mongrel. But did you see the Big Doyle of the Something Star, he interviewed Caitlin Clark. It was like a press conference.
Oh yeah, he did the heart.
He's like, I would love if you did that to me. It was like her heart little signature pose, and it was super creepy.
He's like apologizing. He's like, I didn't mean it like that's like. I love Portnoy's like tweeting him like, yeah, shut up, you pervert.
Yeah, like come on, it's too late to take that back. But I'm excited to watch her play and all the other. Nico Mule, she's a beast. She's also super fine. There's so many of them. I mean, I remember one of the girls I actually love watching a lot. I don't know what. I think she's a freshman. I'm gonna fuck her name up, but her last name's Fulwiley on South Carolina. She literally handles the rock like Malaysia Fulwiley. She handles the rock like a legit dude. Again, not trying to like be disrespectful, but like the way her movements, she's very fluid. Just the women's game in general, dude. These women are they're getting like 6 foot. They're all getting taller and like just more athletic and more able to do more. They're more skilled. They're just more skilled, point blank. So that should be fun to watch.
The game's getting better, man. It really is. And I enjoyed, and I said it on here, I enjoyed the women's tournament much more than I did the men's tournament this year. And I don't think I've ever really said that. How about, there's and also not just to give my Notre Dame ladies a shout out, Hannah Hidalgo from PVI.
She's a beast.
She's a local product.
Oh, I did not know she's from PVI.
Yeah, she's Paul VI girl. So that's just to keep. And Ty, I also did want to ask you. It's a big day for you today. Your girl T Swift dropped an album. So I don't know if
dropped an album. I've seen some. Mixed reviews. I guess there's a couple like still screenshots of some of the lyrics. And I'm like, ooh, that doesn't sound great. That seems a little weird. But, you got
to let these marinate, though. You can't,
Let them marinate. Also, listen a couple times. We'll see. I mean, there's been some times where, she drops stuff and I'm like, I can't listen to it. I don't love it. It's not for me. But we'll see. I mean, she's starting off with a fucking Post Malone collab.
Yeah.
Gotta love that. So, yeah, I'm definitely going to listen tonight, tomorrow. Enjoy the 420 celebratory day. There's a big
it's exactly what T Swift would want you to do.
Oh, dude, she would stop. There's a big 420 party somewhere downtown. I will be working, so whatever. But should we get Sixers play tomorrow?
Yes.
Panthers Bolts. It's gonna be a big hockey series, especially down here. That's Sunday.
Oh wow.
Afternoon. So we're getting NBA and NHL playoffs popping, rocking, locking, and then we got the NFL draft. So I'm excited. We got Devin Haney. Ryan Garcia missed weight, no surprise. And now he apparently has to give Devin Haney $1.5 million.
That's insane.
For missing weight. 5 missed. That's what he said. That was his deal.
500,000 per pound.
So Devin Haney's going to be a richer man. Also, I think he wins by knockout. So let's get that plus money in.
That's already locked in at plus 160. I think I threw that in there. Devin Haney, TKO, KO. It's all the same to me. Ty, what a pleasure. Enjoy your weekend, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy the Sixers. Shout out to JPav. Thanks to JPav for joining us for the first half hour of this show. This was
even if it's JPav, we love having someone.
Any sort of guest, hit me up. I'm willing to. If you're not a moron, I might have you on this show. Otherwise, you're not gonna come on the show. But there you go. Until then, my name is Matt McSweeney.
I'm Ty Capone.
And ladies and gentlemen, as always, please. Drink your water out there, please. Drink your water.
You are now listening to the Hot Take Hot Box.